Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, AEW is signing everybody in the world, including Jeff Hardy.
And Buddy Matthews, he appeared on Dynamite last night.
And another top free agent that I'm particularly excited about.
And Chris Jericho is erasing Cody Rhodes.
Did a little Thanos thing, didn't he? Pretty much.
Snap.
This is the news.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm Phil.
Are we supposed
He's Andy.
Yeah, we're supposed to say our names as well, aren't we? Oh well, see what happens when you're not here, Adam Wilborn. Come on, man. Come on. Let's kick this thing off by talking about Jeff Hardy. He has claimed, shock of all shocks, that he's going to AEW.
My God.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even call this the worst kept secret in pro wrestling, because as soon as he left WWE, that's where everyone was pointing, wasn't it? But he's done so. He was interviewed by a chap named Jared Myers on YouTube. Post Wrestling have corroborated this, because in the interview there was some background noise. It was quite hard to hear what he said, but Post Wrestling reached out and confirmed that yes, Jeff Hardy has told Jared Myers that he's going to AEW once his non-compete clause is up, and that he's equal parts excited and a little bit nervous about the whole deal. So Jeff was let go by WWE on the 9th of December last year, which means he is free to do whatever the hell he wants. His 90 days are up from the 9th of March. Obviously, difficult circumstances regarding his WWE release. There was a report, he was let go, of course, and the reported reason for that was he's impaired while performing on that house show, the footage of which made the rounds. There was the report about him turning down rehab. The Hardys have come out and denied certain aspects of these stories. I think, whoever's making the judgment on that situation should be the people who are close to it, and that's not us, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, a lot of us would have seen this coming. Matt has obviously been in AEW since March 2020, like early COVID era. He's been there a long time. There's the possibility of the reunion if they want to do that. There's also the story that came out a couple of weeks ago about WWE trying to get Jeff back and putting him in the Hall of Fame. So there's a lot going on. Jeff Hardy's had a busy few months away from the biggest promotion in the world, but it looks like he's heading to the second biggest promotion in the world now. I think he probably is.
Yeah, I think so too. And I kind of like this way round of doing it. It's almost like a breath of fresh air when Tony signs so many people. You kind of run out of ways of debuting people, and just actually coming out and saying it on an interview before it happens is kind of refreshing at this point. Yeah. You're not gonna want to not advertise a guy like Jeff Hardy coming into your show. You're gonna want to make a big point of this and pop as much of a rating as possible and try and get as much of his following, which is intense and follows him everywhere, to come across to AEW. So I kind of like this way around of doing it. And I mean, Hardy Boys versus the Young Bucks is an absolute no-brainer that they're going to have to do at some point. Yeah. Hardy Boys just in general as a reunion in AEW would be really fun, I think.
Fun nostalgic tour.
Why not?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You, Jeff.
Good for Jeff.
But speaking of someone else who is appearing on Dynamite last night, it was Malachi Black and what's his name? Brody King going up against Death Triangle. It was Pac and Penta Oscura, as he is now.
Got a gravestone now.
He does. So. He's old.
And Alex Abrahantes is a vampire.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to go around and start breaking people's arms again?
Oh man, I hope so.
Anyway, they were fighting on Dynamite, and Death Triangle won. But then after the match, the Knights of the Black Throne, or whatever they're called, Kings of the Black Throne, there it is, started attacking the good guys afterwards. But then the lights went black, and then when the lights came back on again, Buddy Matthews, otherwise known as Buddy Murphy, obviously from WWE, was in the ring, and then they kind of waited for ages, so the people started questioning, like, who is he going to join forces with? And then obviously he started attacking the good guys after the match, and then Malachi Black got him to stomp Penta's face into a chair at the end of it. So Buddy Matthews has joined the Kings of the Black Throne and AEW.
Yeah, and the House of Black and the various lore ladders that emerged from that. I teased it last week, didn't he, Mal Black? He had a little tarot card, and he was like, we're going to get another member.
And a little shadowy figure in the background, or whatever it was.
Stuff was occurring, and now it has occurred. He's signed, he's got the graphic. I think it's another one that we probably saw coming, but he's a very talented guy, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do.
But they've got a Kenny Omega at home.
Hey, what are we going to do now? Another guy who's coming in.
Another one.
A lot of people coming into this company at the moment.
Huge fan. Last week, me and Wilborn reported that Tony Khan was going to slow down on signings.
Here we are. Shane Strickland is our next story here. He is, of course, the former Isaiah Swerve Scott, if you know him from WWE. Fightful Select coming through with the report. Yeah, he's basically signed, and he's going to... The word within the company is that this is going to kick in during the first week of March. So I wonder, sitting here, the Face of the Revolution ladder match... Last year they used that to debut Ethan Page.
Yeah.
Spot at the end, maybe they bring Strickland in for that. That's just me speculating, not part of this report. But Fightful continues saying that AEW sees Strickland as a potential crossover star, which would make sense because the guy he makes rap music and he's got podcasts and he's got all kinds of other endeavors as well. So he does a lot of different things, does Mr. Strickland. Now, we'll see what happens when he comes in, but his 90-day non-compete actually only expired like a week or two ago, but he's already worked for New Japan. He's got a couple of other dates lined up. He's someone that I personally am very high on. I've been speaking about this guy for ages and ages. I've loved him from the moment I first saw him in the flesh on an indie show coming out to Shaka Khan. Ain't nobody. Tony Khan's got to buy that, by the way. If he doesn't buy that, I'm going to quit my job. I'm not, but still. But yeah, it's another exciting addition to the roster. I think this guy has all the tools. Didn't get a fair shake of it on the main roster in WWE at all. I mean, he was there for like 3 weeks before they cut the rest of Hit Row after letting go of B-Fab a week or two prior. But yeah, Shane Strickland coming to AEW.
Yeah, I like this. Another big fan of Shane Strickland, a very charismatic, talented guy that, like you say, never ever got the kind of fair shake he deserved in WWE, never really got a shot at anything. Yeah. And I think he's going to do big things with this sort of chip on his shoulder after it all going wrong in WWE. And he'll be one of those guys coming out there to prove his worth. Yeah. And I think it's going to be really fun to watch. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Good stuff. Tony can't stop signing people.
Hey.
And speaking of AEW, last night, finally, Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston were having a bit of a promo battle, and obviously they were getting some little digs across it, like WWE and things. They were talking about AEW being a wrestling company, whereas WWE is more of a sports entertainment company. Those kind of little digs that Jericho seems to love doing these days. But he also had a little dig at someone else. He had a little dig at Cody Rhodes, because they were talking about Eddie Kingston and how he came into AEW. Obviously, it was during Cody's TNT Championship run when they were doing that kind of open challenge kind of thing, and then he ended up getting signed from that. But he didn't speak about Cody by name, did he? He just kind of had a little dig going, what's his name? And didn't actually mention him. So Chris Jericho is poking the bear.
Yeah, he is. You guys know me. I like the shots. I think they're fun. I think bouncing back and forth between promotions, it gets people talking and it's good entertaining value. I understand why people don't like them, but I've never understood why people have meltdowns over this stuff. That being said, I think referring to Cody Rhodes as what's his name is a little weird. The guy was a cornerstone of the company, and last week the message was there's business as usual. If we need to mention Cody, we're going to mention him. So I don't think there's much to look into here. I don't think AEW is deleting him from history. Or
I think this is very much more of a Chris Jericho thing rather than an AEW thing.
I think Chris Jericho woke up and chose violence and said, "Hey, this will annoy people," and he's done it. So if he did, mission accomplished, because it has annoyed people.
Yeah.
But there we are. I like this. The we're not a sports area. I like that stuff, man. Differentiate yourself. Get people talking. People will argue against it, but that's how I stand on it. And
it's one of the big selling points of AEW at the very beginning, though, wasn't it? It's like everybody was desperate for a wrestling company instead of a sports entertainment company, and then here they are, the actual alternative. Why not say that to the world? Say, we are different. This is why we're different. Come watch us instead.
Exactly. And it was a cool segment as well.
Yeah.
So Eddie Kingston is the boy. Anyway, Twitter questions. Let's do some of those.
Let's do that.
The first one comes from Eddie Edwards. Not that Eddie Edwards, presumably, but Eddie Edwards. After last night, do you think MJF could ever have a run as a top-level face is the question. They were certainly leaning into that with his heartfelt story of what CM Punk meant to him growing up as a bullied kid at school and all of that. Fantastic segment. I definitely think there were shades of babyfaceisms in there.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange, this. I think MJF is a very talented man at the end of the day, and I think he can probably do anything in terms of the wrestling business, and I would not put it past him to have a really good run as a babyface, but he just seems to really like being a heel, and he's really good at being a heel, and he always has a way of turning this around. So I'd be interested to see if they actually pull the trigger on it at any point. And how it would look, but I think he could absolutely pull it off.
Yeah, I think he could pull it off as well. I think that, however, there's an even greater chance of him using this sympathy to be a complete prick next week
and
turn it around. So we'll see how it goes. But he had the week when he was in Long Island as well, where he was this total cheesy 80s babyface for a while as well. So I think the potential's there, as much of a heel as he is on TV most of the time.
At some point, this heel one is definitely not over.
We're going to get there. Next one today comes from Casey, Magic Pandas on Twitter. Manic Pandas, I'm sorry. Pandas doing spells, if they were magical. Asks, with the Hardys possibly reuniting in AEW, do you see them going for or even winning the tag belts? Me, personally, I'm not having them win the tag belts. I'm using them more to enhance the younger teams as stars, because the Hardys are stars. But I wouldn't rule it out entirely, I don't think.
I don't think you can ever rule out something like that entirely. Just having the Hardy Boys as your champions is a good look for a company. But I'm with you. I don't see them winning it. I see them going for it at some point, definitely. But I don't see them winning it. I think even the Hardy Boys themselves would probably admit that they're more in a position of trying to enhance the younger talent coming up now, rather than be the top tier themselves. But whatever happens, there's going to be some really fun matches in it. And I think they've got a lot of knowledge to teach all the younger guys in AEW, so it should be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, Sting is probably a good comparison point here. He's not come in and won the world title, even though he's like a massive star or anything. He's just been on the show and been really good fun. So hopefully the same from the Hardys.
Kind of thing that Punk and Bryan have been doing with the younger guys when they've been wrestling with them. Like they might beat them, but they're still lifting them up along with them.
Exactly, and it's like the story there is so great as well. It's like, you're really good 23-year-old man, but you're not quite there yet. And one day they will be there yet, and it's all going to be fun. I like stories.
Yeah, stories are good.
Stories are fun. Our final question of the day, and it fits the mold of yesterday's final question. I think we'll keep this format. 2 serious ones, one that's a bit wacky. Bernie asks, good morning, legends. Which wrestler would you have as a roommate? Now, we've thought about this long and hard.
We have.
Because,
it's a difficult one. There's a lot of factors that go into this.
It is. A lot of wrestlers are weird guys.
Wrestlers are weird.
Strange people. You also have to, like you pointed out in there, you have to factor who's going to do the dishes when it's there, who's going to hoover the living room and all this, who's not going to make noise after 11 o'clock when you're trying to sleep. I boiled it down to one man, Taz, because he's old enough to live a smart, sensible lifestyle and respect your stuff. He's really hard, so if anyone gives you any jip, Taz can just suplex them and take care of them. And on top of that, he's just really funny when he comments on stuff. Like him on Dark, just like laughing and bantering and having a good time. I want that man just constantly talking about stuff in my life. I think it'd be fun.
Fair enough. Just sat down watching TV with Taz.
Yeah. Watching EastEnders. What do you reckon of Curly Watts?
Just cutting promos on Curly Watts. I'm going to go, might seem like an obvious answer, but there's only one answer in my mind, and it's Big E. Because, A, he's a fun guy. He's definitely going to do the dishes, I think. Big E's not going to leave his dirty dishes lying around the place. He's a nice guy. But he's fun, so you can play video games with him, have a laugh. But then I also think, which is quite important in a roommate, that there will come a time when you just kind of want your own space and you don't really want to be with someone else all the time. And I think he would be respectful in that manner as well. And I think you can have your separate times and your fun times together, and I think it would work out very well. So Big E, come live with me.
Excellent shout. Who would you least like to live with? Without insulting anyone.
Insulting anyone.
Ricky Starks, because I'd feel really inadequate every day.
Yeah, I'd say the same about Hook.
There you go. Every member of Team Taz, really, apart from Taz himself, because he's just such a damn cool guy.
Hook was there, I'd just be incredibly jealous of his hair.
Yeah. Powerhouse Hobbs, his dungaree game, ridiculous.
Yeah. Any of them?
Yeah.
No. Taz is the only one.
Taz.
The only livable version.
Thank you for joining us today on the news. We'll be back tomorrow. Hit us up on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. Hit Phil on Twitter at
Fill My Chambers, and hit Andy on Twitter
at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Horatio. Yeah. Cool. The guy from CSI or whatever. Bye.